Okay, welcome back, and this video is going to be about the manual for the NexStar. I'm going to be sitting at my table here for a few minutes, and so I've got my pot of English breakfast tea, and I always like to start with a nice fresh hot pot of tea to enjoy building my airplanes. Okay, I've got the manual from the first airplane that I built, and you'll see in the manual I've got a lot of check marks and circles and comments, and I'm going to review how I built the first one to remind me, I'm going to do the same thing with this one. So this comes in a nice bag, and you can just rip it open, rip the tape off. I guess I could cut it, probably simpler. And we don't need the bag. Okay, so that's the manual, and it comes with a couple of interesting extra pieces of information. I thought there was another one in here. Maybe not. Okay, so here is detailed information about how to tighten up the covering. I found that the covering on this is already pretty tight, but after you unbox it, get it out of the plastic bags, you let it sit a while, at least a day, to let the covering acclimate to the humidity conditions of wherever you live, because this was assembled somewhere in the Far East. And it's humid over there sometimes in the rainy season and dry in the dry season, and so you'll see some wrinkles in it, and we'll do an inspection later. But this shows you how to tighten it with an iron with a sock on it, special iron for RC, and I'll show you how that works. And I also use an air heat gun as well, and you'll see that too. So that's a good piece of information. That came with the other one. Also, what came with it is a set of instructions about pre-hinged control surfaces and how to make sure and add CA to the CA hinges. It's interesting that I don't see that in the current manual. I don't know if they just left it out or decided it wasn't important anymore, but it is important, and we'll go over this later, is to the hinges. The CA hinges have already been pre-glued, but you got to maybe make sure they're nice and tight, so we'll go over that later. So the first thing I do with the manual is find all of the information about what came with the airplane and make sure everything's there. And also make sure of what additional equipment you need to build the airplane, both things that go on or in the airplane, and the field equipment and the building and assembly things that you need to build it. So you need building supplies. You know, it shows a list here of hobby knife, transparent tape, metal files, the monocoat sealing iron, switch and charging jack, all kinds of stuff. So there's going to be a separate video about the list of other things that I've bought for this airplane and what's going to go in it. And so you ought to review this, and there'll be a video. I'll show you how I go through all of the hardware and identify what it is. There's some interesting information here about how the wing has this pivot flex wing mounting system, the snap gear landing system, and the easy line tail mounting and screw it together, the extender limiter for your high-speed needle valve, and this ISO smooth engine mount. It's actually a pretty good mount. I'll show you how that works. So that's good reading. Then the manual's put together pretty well for each part. They give you a section of what you need for this section. So that was putting the wings together, installing the engine. This is what you need. There are a few things when you do this that I do slightly differently, and I'll point that out and I'll tell you why. But I found this manual to be an excellent reference for how to put it together. And where I deviate, I make a note of it, and you'll see it in the video. The very last page is also something quite handy. It's the fin, and the angle, the correct angle for these rods that go in is important. So you just lay the fin on this and make sure those pins are aligned. I found that one was, and one was just a 16th or 3/32 off. And so one was good. I had to bend the other one a little bit to get it aligned, and it went together very well. So you'll get to see that later. Okay, so that's the manual, and we'll go step by step through the manual and get this airplane put together. Thank you.